everyone, SwiftScripter here, and welcome back to our Unity tutorial series. In this video, we'll explore how to create a game environment as well as levels. So by the end of this tutorial, you'll have built like a simple game level environment with like obstacles and stuff like that. And good news about this tutorial, there's no new coding involved. So this is just straight up full Unity. Everything in Unity is what you'll be learning in this tutorial. So yeah, I recommend watching the previous tutorial video for this series like always, but if you've already done that or if you just want to learn about this specific topic, then let's dive right in. So let's first set up the scene. Since we already have a plane and cube in our scene, we're gonna add more elements to create a basic level. Let's actually delete this plane for now. Just press delete. Then I want to give a quick heads up that I actually have a script as well as the rigid body attached to this cube. So I call this player movement, and if you open this is basically what it is. This is all old code stuff, so if you've seen the previous tutorial, you'll understand what this is. But basically what I'm doing is making the game object move left, right, forward, or backward based on the input. So move horizontal is left or right, move vertical is forward or backward, and then it's based on this. The range is -1 to 1 for both. Based on this, it's gonna add a force to the rigid body, which is what adds physics to our game object by making it move a specific direction. So that's why we need a vector 3, because we're moving it in the 3D space, X, Y, and Z. So for the X, we're moving it left or right, and then Y we're not moving it at all because we're just going forward, backward, left or right. And then vertical is just forward or backward. And I'm multiplying this by speed, which can be modified here. I just made it public. It's 0.5. And I've also made the mass 20 because I notice it's going really fast. But yeah, that's pretty much what you need to know before we start. So since you know this now, let's get started. We're gonna actually add a new cube, call this platform, and let's zero it out. We're gonna make this much larger. So probably 20 and 20 on the scaling for the X and Z axis, and we're gonna move it down a little. And something I'm actually gonna do is, see how I already have a materials folder? You can create a new folder by just right clicking in the asset section here, going to create, hovering over this, and then pressing folder. So I'm gonna go in the folder actually and create a new material. Call this platform material. So let's see, where's the material? Platform material. So it's easy to see the difference between the cube as well as the platform. So platform material right there, and we can make this metallic and see the difference. Metallic, change the color too. We can also change the smoothness. That's pretty much it. I'm also gonna add something else called emission, make it look cooler, more animated. And before I add this to the platform, I'm actually gonna duplicate this, press Ctrl D, move it along the x-axis here, and something I'm gonna do is actually hold V and then hover over one of the vertices of this and then make it close to the other platform so that it can intersect perfectly. Obviously, you can also just scale this much larger on the x-axis, but I just wanted to show a quick tip. If you want to connect different game objects, you can hold V like this, so it's perfectly symmetrical. And since both of these are pretty much the same game object, I'm gonna create something called an empty game object. Call this all platforms. Then move these. Before that, let me just zero it out. And then I'm gonna move these under here. And if I add it to both the platform and platform 1 here, you can see the color difference. So it's pretty cool. I actually don't like red. I want a more natural color, like meant to resemble nature or something like that. So I'm just gonna, let's see, I guess it looks all right. I'm fine with this. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing we're gonna do, which is creating some obstacles. So you can do this however you want. I'm gonna time lapse through this. You can create any new 3D object. Let's make it maybe a sphere or something. Move it here, and then maybe have another 3D object like a capsule. And then finally, I'm just going to create a new empty game object, call it obstacles, and move all of these game objects, make them children of this head object. Basically, what I'm doing is just making it more organized. It's much easier to read if it's like this than if you were to put all of these, outside, but I'm just making it easier to read for me personally, and I suggest you do too. And yeah, that's pretty much the obstacles I'm gonna have in the scene. Next thing I'm gonna do is add some more materials to these things as well. I'm gonna actually add a new material call it player material. Actually, I'm just gonna leave the obstacles the color they are. I'll just change the player material. So let's change the color of this, be something red, metallic, smoothness, let's do that. Emission, no, I'm just messing around with this. You can do it however you want, just experiment with it. This is my personal preference. And finally, I'm just gonna drag it over here. I'm also gonna rename this to player because it's easier to read. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you what it looks like right now when I press play. So as you can see, it is moving along this platform, but you can't see the player move, right? The camera's not following along. All you have to do to make the camera follow along, you can make a script, but I always find it easier to just make the camera a child object of the player. So now I'm gonna just show you what it looks like when I press play. See how it follows. I am stuck because of this stupid thing. I'm just gonna move it down. And something else I'm gonna do is just adjust the camera. Oh no. Oh man, I fell, bro. You can see because it has a collider, it interacts with the other game objects. This capsule, or this sphere has a collider, so something I'm actually gonna do is have the player rotate the camera when, moving, having the player move the camera when they press A or D. So I'm actually gonna do that right now. Transform.rotate vector 3. We'll want it to be in the x-axis. So actually we'll want to rotate it around the y-axis. Yeah, so open this again, leave this 0, move horizontal, and 0 for this too. I think this should be it. Just let's test it out. I might need to do time.delta time. I haven't. Oh yeah, as you can see. Okay, something is definitely off about this. I'm gonna fix that right now. I think it's this actually. So move vertical, and change this to be 0. See if that works. Okay, yes, it is working, except when I press W or the up arrow, it's actually going backwards. So all you have to do then is make this negative. Now, theoretically, it should work. Yep. It's moving closer. Yeah. We'll also be adding a directional light, just test how it works. I don't interact much with lights at all, but if you see the difference, I'm just gonna delete this right now. You're gonna see a difference. Take a look at this, the lighting of this when I add a new directional light. So directional light, just take a look. Boom. Looks different for sure, right? So you can also change the color of this, make it appear, darker, have a red tone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna even increase the intensity. See how it turns yellow? That's the RGB color model. Finally, I'm gonna talk about this thing called a terrain. You can add in Unity. So you can edit this in Unity itself, and there's no code required. Unity handles it. So I'm just gonna call this terrain, leave it like that. Move this under this platform. Okay, move it up a little. And yeah, I'll also teach you how to add a material to this later, but for now I'm gonna actually modify this terrain, make it look better, have valleys, hills like that. So for that, what you want to do is press paint trees, and usually you'll have this brush option. There's also a brush size, so take a look at the size of my brush right now. If you increase it, it's much larger, this entire blue outline. I'm just gonna make it small for now. Just circle around, paint all this. Okay, that is a bit too much. These are all like different types of brushes I'm using, so just sit tight, do whatever you want. All right, this is pretty much my terrain. Something I'm actually gonna do is teach you how to change the material of this. So you can go to terrain settings right here, and then there's a default terrain standard section here. You can go to this material section, click on the plus icon, and I found this pretty cool. I found this looks nice. Well, obviously it's provided by Unity itself, but you know, if you press play, let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks like a pretty cool thing. So that's pretty much. You can also create your own material. I'm gonna. You can do this, anything. It has a metallic tone to it because I made it metallic, as you can see here. Yeah, you know what? I'll just leave it like this for the sake of the tutorial, but if you press none, you should be able to create your own material, do your own thing. You can also drag your own material from here based on what you created. For now, I'm just gonna make it this. So yeah, just, you know, experiment around with this, mess around, have fun with it. We can also add props like trees and rocks and other things. So Unity itself actually provides lots of stuff for this from the asset store. So I'm actually going to demonstrate that right now. So if you want to install something, you can go to Window here. There's Asset Store, and you can always search it up online. So I'm just going to close this tab. There's also a package manager. Lots of things you can do around with it. Just be sure to install it, and then it should import into your Unity project. We can also add a skybox to our scene. So this is pretty much what you're looking at all around. This is the entire skybox. So what you want to do for that is go to Window, then we'll want to go to Lighting right here, Rendering. I'm just going to actually drag this right next to Inspector. And if you see Environment here, there's a default skybox. You can do lots of things with this though. What? Okay, this looks crazy. I was not expecting this. I did not mean to click it when I was like writing the script for this video, but okay, I'll be honest. This actually looks pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, just mess around with this. You can do a lot of things in Unity. Oh yes, I love this actually. Oh, this looks good. Oh. Okay, yeah. But yeah, this is pretty much our simple game level. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. We've added lots of stuff like platforms, obstacles, textures, lighting, and terrain, as well as a skybox. So you can play around, navigate through the environment, just do whatever you want. But yeah, you've created your first game level, and that's what matters. Building these environments is very essential to like making a good Unity game. And in the next video, we'll actually implement game mechanics like scoring and health systems to make our game more interactive. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye!
There is nothing to fear.